Hare Krishna, please accept my humble obeisances, close to Prabhupada. So we'll continue our discussion on chapter 10, the opulences of the Absolute, from verse 20. Aham atma gudakesha sarvabhutasya stitah aham adischa madhyam cha bhutanamante cha. I am the super soul, O Arjun, seated in the hearts of all living entities. I am the beginning, the middle, and the end of all beings. So beginning from verse 20, Krishna is now going to be speaking about his opulences to Arjun. So here we see that Krishna addresses Arjun as Gudakesha. So Arjun was, another name for Arjun is Gudakesh because he had conquered sleep. And since sleep is also considered to be ignorance, Gudakesh also means one who has conquered ignorance. So he says, because you are enlightened, I am now going to be speaking of my opulences to you. So the first thing that Krishna presents himself is as the Purushavatars. So he says that I am Sarvabhuta. Sarvabhuta means that he is the cause of all the material creation. This is Karunadakshay Vishnu. Right? Then he says that I am Antarayami Samasta Virad. That I am the super soul of the entire creation. So this is Garbhodaksha Vishnu that enters into every universe and sustains it. And then he says that I am Antarayami Vyasati Virat. So as Garbhodaksha Vishnu is the Paramatma of Samasti Virat. Samasti Virat is the aggregate creation and Vyasti Virat is the individual components of that creation, which is Shrodakshay Vishnu. So Arjuna is saying that you should first meditate upon me as these three Vishnus. Okay, let's go to the next verse. Verse 21. Adityanam aham Vishnu Jyotisham Raviram Shuman Marichir Marutam Asmi Nakshatranam aham Shashi. Of the Adityas I am Vishnu. Of lights I am the radiant sun. Of the Maruts I am Marichi. And among the stars I am the moon. So now Krishna is speaking about his opulences in the material aspect or as seen in the material world. So he says of the Adityas I am Vishnu. So here he is referring to himself as Vaman Dev. So there are 12 Adityas who are born from Kashyap Rishi and Aditi. And the youngest of them, so Indra is the eldest, and there are other Adityas who are various demigods, and the youngest of them is Vaman Dev. And Krishna says that of the 12 Adityas I am Vishnu. Then he says of the light I am the sun. And then of the Maruts I am Marichi. So there are 49 Maruts that are born from Kashyap and Diti. So this pastime appears in Srimad Bhagavatam, 6th canto, chapters 18 and 19, where Diti, to take revenge on Indra, he performs this vrata. But she makes a mistake, so Indra enters into the womb and he cuts his embryo 7 times and then again 7 times. But because of the potency of the vrata, he is not able to kill the child of Diti. So these 49 children of Diti were then taken by Indra and they became the Maruts. So the prominent amongst the Maruts is Marichi. Now this Marichi is different from, there's a Marichi that appears as one of the earliest Manasputra of Brahma. So he is the Rishi. He has a different position, a much more exalted position. These Maruts are essentially wind gods. They control the various winds in the universe, and they are also the only Daityas who are worshipped as Devas because of this special dispensation. Then Krishna says that amongst the nakshatras, I am Soma, I am Shashi, the moon. So there are 27 nakshatras, and the moon, it lives for one day in each of the nakshatra. Each of them is occupied by one of the wives of moon, the 27 daughters of Prajapati Daksha. So these nakshatras are glorified by moon occupying them. So we see that sometimes Krishna will glorify his Vibhuti as an outstanding member of a group. So amongst all the 12 Adityas, the greatest is Vamandev. Right? So he is the best of the group. And sometimes he will present his opulence as the essence of a relationship, that the moon is the lord of the constellations. Next verse. Verse 22. Vedanam samvedasme devanam asmi vasavaha indriyanam manaschasmi bhutanam asmi chetana. Of the Vedas I am the Samved. Of the demigods I am Indra, the king of heaven. Of the senses I am the mind, and in living beings I am the living force, consciousness. So amongst the 4 Vedas, Krishna presents himself as the Samved. And the Samved is essentially an extract of Rig Veda. And it is especially sweet because of the very esoteric lyrics that are written in it. The Samved is one that is sung. The other Vedas can be in a mixture of prose and verse, but Samveda is essentially beautiful songs. And like I said, it's an extract of the Rig Veda. So amongst the Devas, he says, I am Indra, Vasava, because Indra is the king of the Devas. Amongst the senses, he is the mind, because the mind inspires the senses to act, and also the mind is the most difficult to control. And then he says, in the living beings, I am Chetana. So I am consciousness. So here Krishna is presenting himself in relationship. In the first 3 cases, he was the best of the group. The best of the Vedas is Samveda. The best of the Devas is Indra. The best of the senses is the mind. But the essence of a living entity is his consciousness. So the opulences are appearing in these different ways. Okay, next verse. Verse 23. Rudranam Shankarashasme Vitteshu Yaksharakshasham Vasunam Pavakaschasme Meru Shikharinamaham. Of the Rudras I am Lord Shiva. Of the Yakshas and Rakshasas I am the Lord of Wealth, Kuvera. Of the Vasus I am fire, Agni. And of mountains I am Meru. So in the Bhagavatam it is explained that there are 12 Rudras. So this is in the 3rd canto, 12th chapter, 12th verse. The name of the 12 Rudras are given. And the most prominent amongst them is Lord Shiva, who resides on Mount Kailash. So Krishna says he is Lord Shiva. Then amongst the Yakshas and Rakshasas, he is Kubera. So Kubera is the lord of the Yakshasas and Rakshasas. So Kubera is the elder brother of Ravan. He obtained this post by the worship of Lord Brahma, and as a benediction he got this post. Then of the Vasus, Krishna says, I am Agni. So Vasus are also a group of demigods. They are said to be 8 Vasus. And one of the Vasus is Pavaka, that is Agni. Vasus also play a role, or somewhat of a role, in Mahabharata, where Bhishma Dev is considered to be one of the Vasus, or one of the Vasus is being cursed and takes birth in a human form. And then Krishna says that amongst the peaks is Mount Meru. So Mount Meru is actually in the middle of Bhumandal, and it's 100,000 yojanas tall, made of solid gold. And the axis of the universe actually passes through Mount Meru. So the whole universe is essentially revolving around the axis that passes through the middle of Mount Meru. So Krishna is presenting himself as the best of the mountains, Mount Meru. Next verse. Verse 24. Purodasham cha mukhyam mama vidipartha brahaspatim senaninam aham skanda sarasham asmi sagara. Of priest to Arjun, know me to be the chief Brahaspati. Of generals, I am Kartikeya. And of bodies of water, I am ocean. So Brahaspati, the word Brahaspati means one who chants prayers. So Brahaspati is the guru of the Devas, and he is the foremost in terms of the chanting of the prayers of the Vedas. Shukracharya is considered to be more of an expert in knowledge of the scriptures, but Brahaspati has stronger devotion in him. Kartikeya is the eldest son of Lord Shiva and Parvati. So when the demons were becoming very powerful, then the Devas had prayed to Lord Shiva for a progeny that can lead them in battle. And so Kartikeya appeared. And then Sarasham Asmi Sagara. Of all the bodies of water, the ocean is glorified because it is large, and also because it is always undisturbed. There may be so many rivers that may come out or maybe flowing into it, but the ocean always remains calm. So Krishna says that he is the ocean. Next verse. Verse 25. Maharishinam Briguraham Giramasmya ekam aksharam Yajnanam japa yajnasmi Sthavaranam Himalaya. Of the great sages I am Bhrigu. Of the vibrations I am the transcendental Om. Of the sacrifices I am the chanting of the holy name, Japa. And of immovable things I am the Himalayas. So Maharishinam, of the great sages, Krishna says I am Bhrigu. So Bhrigu is one of the 10 Manasputras of Brahma. He is considered to be the originator of the Brahmans, those who perform sacrifices. Then Krishna says that of the vibrations I am the transcendental Om. So Akshay Ekam Aksharam. So Ekam Aksharam is translated as the Pranav, Om. So Om is the root of all the Vedas. From the Om comes the Gayatri, from the Gayatri comes the Vedas. All the Vedic mantras, they are preceded by Om. And Yajna Nam Japa Yajnasmi. So this is a very reassuring statement to devotees, because we practice our spiritualities through Sankirtan Yajna. So of all the Yajnas, Krishna says Japa Yajna Asmi. Prabhupada in the purport writes that the chanting of the Hare Krishna Maha Mantra is the recommended Yajna for this age. Kriti Adhyayate Vishnu Treta Yagyate Makaha Dwapare Paricharyayam Kalau Tadhari Kirtana. Especially in the age of Kali, Kalau Tadhari Kirtana, the glorification by chanting the names of Krishna, is recommended. Kalera Dosh Nidhe Rajan asti eka mahavgana kirtanateva krishnasya mukta sanparam brajet. Right? This age of Kali is full of faults, but there is one great redeeming qualities. Kirtanateva krishnasya. Simply by chanting the name of Krishna, mukta sanparam brajet. One will become liberated and enter into the spiritual world. So Krishna says that yagya nam japa yagyo asmi. And then sthavara nam Himalaya. That of those things that are immovable, Krishna says, I am the Himalayas. So Meru was previously glorified as one of the tallest mountains. So Krishna talks about his vibhuti of Meru, that it is one of the tallest mountains in the material world. It's 100,000 yojanas, which is 800,000 miles. And the Himalayas is glorified as being immovable. Now this Himalayas does not necessarily mean the Himalayas in India. So in the 5th canto of the Bhagavatam it is explained that there is actually the Himalayas that are present in Bhumandal, that are outside the Earth planet, which run in Jambudvipa. So that's where Lord Shiva also resides. So Krishna says that of the immovable things I am the Himalayas. Okay, let's move on to the next verse. Verse 26. Ashvata sarva vrikshanam deva rishinam cha narada gandharvanam chitraratah siddhanam kapilo munihi. Of all trees I am the banyan tree, and of the sages of the sages among the demigods I am Narad. Of the Gandharvas I am Chitrarath, and among perfected beings I am the sage Kapil. So the banyan tree, which is also known as the peepal tree or the Ashwath, is considered to be a representative of Lord Vishnu. So there are in traditional Vedic rituals, there is many worship that is done either around the banyan tree, using the leaf of the banyan tree, because of this auspicious relationship with the Lord. Then he says that Deva Rishinam cha Narada. So Narad Muni is specially glorified because he is preaching pure devotional service of Krishna. And he is not only preaching to the humans, but he is also preaching to the demigods. Then Gandharvas, they are celestial beings that are famous for their ability to sing and dance. And the foremost among them is Chitrarath. And then Siddhanam Kapilo Muni, that amongst perfected Muni. So Kapila is the son of Kardam Muni and Devahuti. His teachings, which are known as Sankhya, are described in the 3rd canto of the Bhagavatam. So of the perfected beings, Krishna says that Kapila. Kapila Muni is also one of the 12 Mahajans. Okay, let's go to the next verse. Verse 27. Uche Shava Sammashvanam Vidimam Amrutodbhavam Eravatam Gajendranam Naranam Cha Naradipam. Of horses know me to be Uche Shravasva, produced during the churning of the ocean for nectar. Of lordly elephants I am Eravat, and among men I am monarch. So actually both Ucheshrav and Eravat were produced during the Sagar Manthan, during the churning of the ocean, and they were claimed by Indra. So Ucheshram is a celestial horse. Ucheshram literally means one who is praised with loud words because he was so excellent. And Eravat because he is the son of Iravat. So he is called Eravat. So we see when Indra, he heads for battle, he generally goes on Eravat. And Eravat is also a fierce fighter. So amongst the horses, Krishna says he is Ucheshrava. Amongst the elephants, he is Eravat. And amongst men, he is monarch. So the king is considered to be the foremost amongst men. So Srila Prabhupada in the purport writes that kings like Maharaj Parikshit, Maharaj Yudhishthir, Prithu Maharaj, they were famous because of their piety and their ability to lead the people. So that's why they are glorified. But he says in the current age, the kings are corrupt, or the leaders themselves are corrupt, so they are not suitable to be followed. Okay, let's go to the next verse. Verse 28. Ayudhanamaham vajram dhenunam kamado prajanascha kandarpaha sharpanam vasukihi. Of weapons I am the thunderbolt. Among cows I am the surabhi. Of the causes of procreation I am Kandarpa, the god of love. And of serpents I am Vasuki. So the Vajra is a special weapon that Indra holds. So it's explained that when Indra was fighting with Vritasur, he was not able to defeat him. And then on the advice of Krishna, he goes to the Dadachi Rishi. And Dadachi Rishi, because of his regular recitation of Narayan Kavach, his body had become invincible. So he had begged Dadachi Rishi for his bones. And Dadachi, because he was magnanimous, he gave up his body, and from the bones the Vajra was constructed. And with that Vajra, Indra was able to kill Vritasur. So it is considered to be the most formidable amongst the weapons. Then Dhenu Nam Asmi Kamaduk. So Kamaduk is these are Surabhi cows, these are desire fulfilling cows. And amongst all the cows, they are the greatest. Because cows by themselves, they give everything. In the Vedic conception, the cows, they're sufficient to take care of all the needs. With their milk and with the cow dung and the urine, everything is available from the cows. The bulls will plow the land. But amongst the cows, the Surabhi cows, the Kamadhenu cows are foremost, because just by desiring they will fulfill your desires. Then Prajanas Chasmi Kandarpa. So amongst procreation, so amongst sex, Krishna says that I am Kandarpa, the god of love. Now this is specifically Prajana. Praja means children. So this is specifically sex for the purpose of procreation. So Krishna is saying that he is only that sex which is authorized by the scriptures. So in the institution of marriage, and there also Prajana, for the purpose of procreation, he says, I am that, not anything else. Right? So that's why the word cha is used there, that I am only that and nothing else. And Sarpanam Asmi Vasuki. So Vasuki is another son of Kadru and Kashyap Rishi. And there are two kinds of snakes. There are sarpas, snakes, and there is nagas. So the sarpas are single-hooded and the nagas are many-hooded. So Vasuki is considered to be the king of the sarpas. And Anantashesh is the king of the nagas. He will appear later on in the next verse. So amongst the sarpas, Krishna says he is Vasuki. Vasuki is said to be millions of miles long. And later on he again appears in the Bhagavatam as when the Sagar Manthan is being done, then Vasuki is used as a rope to churn the Mandrachal mountain. Okay, next verse. Verse 29. Anantaschasminaganam varuno yadasamaham pitranam aryama chasmi yamaha samyamatamaham. Of the many hooded nagas I am Ananta, and among the aquatics I am the demigod Varun. Of the departed ancestors I am Aryama, and among the dispensers of law I am Yam, the lord of death. So previous verse, Krishna says that amongst the sarpas he is Vasuki, and here he says amongst the nagas he is Ananta. So like Vasuki, Ananta is also the son of Kadru and Kashyap. He is the eldest son. And after that comes Vasuki. So Ananta is also a Shakti-Vesh avatar of Krishna. And in the Bhagavatam it is described that he holds on his head the Bhumandal. So amongst the aquatics, Krishna says, I am Varuna. So Varun is one of the 12 Adityas, and he's responsible for the creatures that live in the water. He's the presiding deity. Then of the departed ancestors, I am Aryama. So the departed ancestors are the Pitras. And the Pitras live in Pitralok, and the Pitralok is presided by Aryama. So Aryama is also one of the 12 Adityas, and it is explained that when Yamraj was cursed by Manduka Muni to become Vidur, then the duties of Yama was taken over by Aryama. And then finally Krishna says that amongst the dispensers of law, I am Yama, the Lord of Death. So Lord Yamraj is the son of Suryadev and Sharanya. So so once a person dies, then the punishment that the person has to receive is determined and executed by Yamas and the Yamdutas. So he is the elder brother of Shani. Shani is so while the person is alive, then the reactions to the karma is given by Shani, the younger brother of Yama. And after the person dies, then Lord Yama takes over the dispensation of justice. So Yama has a twin sister, the famous Yamuna. She is the presiding deity of the river Yamuna. Okay, so we will stop at this point, and in the next discussion we will complete the remaining opulences of Krishna. Srila Prabhupada ki Jai. Hare Krishna.